Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Michael and Beth with their fantastic feature, To Fall in Love. Let's take a look at the clip.
Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner.
You're smart.
You're kind.
You're creative.
You're funny.
You're punctual.
You're beautiful.
You're correct.
How do we...
Oh, well, there's instructions. Read one question aloud to your partner, then both of you answer. Answering all of the questions should take about an hour, but time isn't important. You want to start?
Would you like to be famous?
Not like movie star famous, maybe Nobel laureate famous? Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling
Sexually satisfied. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find most disturbing?
Can we skip that one? Where'd you find these again?
The internet.
And it's like a science experiment about love.
Is there something that you dreamed of doing for a long time?
No. I haven't done anything interesting. I am just an office manager in a big building with an empty house with an empty life. Is my time up yet? If you're going to become a close friend with your partner, share what would be important for him or her to know.
We are close friends.
Are we?
Okay, not to put too fine a point on it, but you are the single most important person in the entire universe to me.
But that doesn't, make us friends.
Promise me you'll really try this time, just for this 4 minutes. You try, please, just.
You are so much a part of me that I don't even know where I end and you begin. I want to crawl inside your skin. I love you so much, but you make me forget him.
I don't want you to give up on us. I want you to fight. The first time I saw you, and that moment feels like the beginning of my life.
What, if anything, is too serious to joke about? Nothing.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
We're not that bad, Beth. He came back, you see. I haven't even got enough words to express how much I loved your film, how important your film is on so many levels, not to mention your performance, Beth, and Eric too. Where did it start? Tell us a brief synopsis firstly for those that haven't seen it.
So To Fall in Love is about an estranged couple who use the 36 questions to fall in love, Arthur Aaron's psychological test to see if they can save their marriage after a tragic loss.
It's so gorgeously written. Like, oh my God. Like, I mean, it's an actor's dream. Like, how did the story come about? Like, how did that begin?
So actually, Jennifer Lane was inspired by the New York Times article called To Fall in Love with Anyone, Do This. Mm-hmm. She read that article, and I believe she wrote the first version of the script in 3 days.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
In
3 days.
Is she a genius? Like,
She's a genius.
Mm-hmm. And it's largely the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? I can't even get. Okay. That's for any filmmaker. That's very unusual. That doesn't always happen. But wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Michael, like, how did this come about in your hands? How did this relationship come about where you unleashed this baby?
Man, the long version is they were gonna do this as a play.
Oh.
Beth and Eric were cast originally for the play, and I sat in on, I think, the second table read. I just loved the story, and I loved the words, and I felt a connection to the material, and I kind of just said, this should be a movie. And I think everybody agreed, but then they had to do the play first and get through that. And then once we settled, once the play was finished, how many shows?
5 that first time.
Five performances. And then we worked on this journey of getting this made into a movie, and it was a long journey. So that's That's actually the short version of it. But yeah.
I mean, sensational acting, like beyond brain, unbelievable. And I also just couldn't help thinking about all the people that have been in this situation, that have had a loss like this, and how devastating that was. What was it like getting into a character like this, and then obviously with your, you know, on-screen partner? Like, this is an emotional roller coaster. How was it for you, Beth?
I mean, it's to be in that place with that kind of emotional energy and truth, you know, going back and forth is exactly what you always want in a role. So it's exhilarating in that way, that you're doing exactly what you want to be doing. But there's also this burden of not just fulfilling what Jenny wanted it to be, but also accurately representing people who actually have gone through this.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And you just hope it's true.
Yeah, I mean, this is a deep one, Michael, to direct. Like, this goes deep. What is? How did you work with your actors on this? How was that experience? Like, you know, it's very intimate. It's, you know, pretty much a two-hander. Well, most of it's apart from a little interruption. But like, how was that?
I think it was pretty easy because they knew the material really well
Yeah.
at the time we started shooting. They had done the stage play multiple times, and it wasn't even just the one. I mean, they did it on-site.
We did it site specific.
Site specific, yes, thank you. And so they knew these characters. And when I saw the play, I kept thinking, if we were going to make this into a movie, then I felt like the best way to approach it was like a fly on the wall. So for me, it wasn't about coverage. It was about just letting them perform.
Yeah.
Let the cameras roll for as long as we can let them roll, and just let them do it. And then every once in a while, back it up. I have an idea, or I have a thought, or can we try it this way instead? But it was more about letting them do their jobs.
I couldn't miss a beat in
Yeah.
this entire, and then most of that was because you as actors gave us something like almost in every single shot, every single moment, and there was so much transferred energy through the words, all those moments between your partner. How much of that was like, you know, uncovered like during filming even, or you know, because it really felt so real.
Yeah. To give you a percentage, I would say that 25% of it were things that we had experienced before in those moments, and probably 75% of it was something new. And I really think that's a testament to the environment that Michael created.
Yeah.
It was just like casual almost, like there weren't 6 other people watching it happen. You know, and he's one of those directors that says, whenever you're ready, which is so much pressure off.
Yeah.
Instead of like, go, action,
Yeah.
you know? So we were just allowed to exist in those moments. And
I forgot I was
Be
watching a
honest.
film. I really did. I was like, I was just in it. I think I adored my cat too. I was like totally watching it. Michael, how did you create this intimacy on set? Like, how was that? What? Because you know you approach this obviously in a certain way. I'm sure that maybe different from other films, because it's obviously, you know, you're pretty much just following closely these two people and these experiences. Like, was it any different from any of the projects that you worked on?
Not really, other than the long takes. I mean, that was pretty
Yeah.
much it. But I felt like the long takes were important. Whether or not I was going to even cut them as long takes, there was a couple of scenes where I knew I wasn't going to ever cut.
Yeah.
But then there were some others I just wanted to see how it would work
Yeah.
out. And then we planned coverage, but it wasn't going to guarantee that I would use all the coverage.
Yeah.
But it really was about, I think even on coverage,
Yeah.
if the camera was on Beth, we ran the entire scene. We didn't do just specific shots for a line. So we literally, and if we had to back up for any reason, I mean, if we had to start a scene in the middle, they would back it up maybe a page, sometimes more, but just to ramp back up. So for me, it was, I just really wanted to have that fly on the wall experience. And I think that was in my head the whole time, just letting the audience kind of like you said, you kind of get drawn in by these two characters and their conversation. And at one point I was hoping that people would be uncomfortable, that they're
Oh yeah.
listening to something that maybe they shouldn't be listening to.
I was, as I say, I think I forgot to blink, breathe, everything. Like, seriously, I felt so like I was in between this two couple and this devastating experience. You know, coming from being this article, you know, turning into a play and then transitioning into screen, I'm just curious, like, this is such an important story. A lot of couples don't make it when they've had a loss like this, and it's significant, actually, sadly, how many couples don't make it. What did you want your audience to take from this film?
Gosh, I don't know. So I actually have a friend who, a husband and wife friends that lost their child years before we attempted this. And so I definitely was thinking about them, and they made it. They are one of the couples that have thrived. And so I definitely had them in the back of my head, and I kind of wanted to honor Sarah, the mother. I didn't want it to be false, and I didn't want it to be cheap. And to this day, I still don't know how she feels about it. I know she's seen it, but she hasn't talked about it. So I'm letting her be. So I don't know if I answered your question.
No, absolutely. I mean, your film, whether you've had any loss, broke up a relationship, you know, any form of an alter or change of your life, like, this film made people feel like it's part, like, this technique of these 36 questions has made it feel like, oh my goodness, maybe we can, like, even have conversational communication again. You know, maybe we can overcome things a lot easier than we've actually laid it out to be. Like, this even experiment of them having these moments was so powerful that whether you make it or you don't, you just feel this release of sharing these conversations and communication with each other. And I just thought, like, that's gonna help so many people watching this, as well as have empathy and understanding. Like, did you feel that too? Like, that was a much wider audience than even May Meets the Eye.
Yeah. I also feel like the structure of the questions takes the onus off of the people in the conversation. Like, you don't have to direct the conversation. It's being directed for you. All you have to do is be honest in the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people who haven't had a similar loss can take away from the film. All you have to do is as much as you can to feel like you've done your part in that relationship.
Yeah.
And then you know that's as much as you could give.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, if films that have, you know, even gone close or not even come close to a genre, I think you've done so much credit to anyone that can feel anything from any angle of what you've created. Like, this film is, like, surprisingly healing, and, you know, and I think gives people so much, either they've been through an experience or they haven't. And so I just want this to be shared everywhere. I can't wait for it to be everywhere. What is next for you both?
I'm currently working on sound for a friend's feature.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a different experience. I usually do, well, I guess I do sound as well, but it's the first time I'm doing sound only. But I'm also, he doesn't know it yet, but I'm also re-editing his movie.
Oh.
He knows it, but
I know now, but
he knows. I had to clear with him because I cut out about 20 minutes of his movie. But other than that, I was just asked to edit another feature film coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a horror film, and I feel like I know that genre.
Yes, you do.
And then I just finished a first draft of a new script that I'm hoping to shoot. Who knows, someday.
Oh, that's amazing, Michael. You're always so busy and taking us to new places, so just keep bringing them to us, okay?
Yeah.
What about for you, Beth?
I am trying to convince Jenny to turn another one of her plays into a feature film.
Yes.
I know, she's amazing. It's about a queer, unmarried, 30-year-old woman, liberal, who has to tell her conservative Republican parents that she's pregnant and she's not getting married.
I'm ready to see this movie. No, seriously. I mean, she's a sensational writer, and I'm so glad if you two can work together again, that's even better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Beth, you gave such a performance. My goodness, and your counterpart and Eric too. Like, it's two incredible acting performances. Like, I can't forget. So, credit to you both. Well done. Thank you for bringing this film to us. Welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family. Welcome back. And we're looking forward to your next project, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth and Mike, everybody.